everybody, we are now actually on one of the last videos of the entire running retrospective, UC Merced track and field. And let me tell you something, track and field was a very, very special time for me at UC Merced. Like the previous videos, like the Hartnell videos, I'm gonna just talk about each season. Merced, just like Hartnell. And I'm gonna say this, track and field, I had a lot of success in cross. I would argue I had a little bit more success in track. It could be debated, or could be just about the same. I don't know. But in my eyes, I think I did accomplish a little bit more in track and field, if you ask me. But like cross country, it was a lot of fun. I managed to break some big barriers, and I just managed to just have some fun. So, get ready for what was quite possibly, like cross country, an epic conclusion to my track and field career, just like cross country. UC Merced. UC Merced was the perfect ending to it all. So let's hop right into 2024 track and field. So 2024 track and field is will probably be the last of my best well-rounded season, I'm gonna call it, because like I managed to have PRs in every single one of my events. I didn't run the 800 that season, but from the 1500 up to the 10K, and it was a fun season, honestly. Looking back, I did have a weird, I did get sick 2 times. I did have some weird little ouches that season. I kept the side of my knee kept having trouble, which right now, this present time, I'm actually still healing from. So, so maybe I never got that healed. I don't know. It's my fault for not doing more strength, but my body's fragile. But what you call it? I got sick one time at Long Beach, and I just couldn't do the 1500 the next day. I just thought I was going to throw up for some reason. It was bad. I don't know what happened. I caught a bug overnight. It was not fun. And then that little knee thing kind of took me out a little bit. Oh, you know, the first time I got sick, the second time I got sick was West Coast Relays. I don't know what happened. I just woke up feeling terrible. I ended up not running, and it is what it is. But either way, besides the ouches, a great season. I remember going into 2024 track and field, I was so nervous, because keep in mind, for those who have watched the cross country video, my season kind of ended early. My last race ended up being Bronco in October of 2023, and I didn't end up racing the rest of the season. So I remember I was like, I'm right back where I started, and I was like, I have to really take my time on healing. I remember I was seeing everyone doing all their workouts, all the long runs really early on. I was just healing from my injury still and really building up slowly. But I told myself, and honestly, I would say 2024 track and field was where I was the strictest on what worked best for me. I just said I gotta stick to what I'm doing, because right now I'm not where they are at. I need to really just focus on myself. I got really strict with myself on that. And I remember I just said, hey guys, I just gotta do my own thing. And you know, I remember I did get a little bit of like, hey, well, why not this and that? And I had to take it all, because you know what, every single person there had beaten me in cross, so I just had to take it all. I'm like, you know what, guys, you're right, but look, right now I'm just gonna train one day at a time, and I will be ready to race track and field. And I remember I was very nervous about me being able to live up to my Hartnell times, because I was like, I dropped the ball completely in cross. How can I expect to be able to successfully make a comeback in track and field? But I just told myself every day, especially during that winter training arc, don't worry about it, just run, take it a day at a time. And I remember I did a workout actually with Jesus, and he actually took these very nice photos here. And I remember when he took those, I was like, you know what? We're gonna make something special this season. I was doing like a 6x800 meter workout, and he even helped pace me. And I remember I was very nervous, but I was like, all right, just run. However, everything changed in February at the FPU invite. Okay, I go to this meet, and I just say, all right, I'm gonna go out and run. I'm gonna make something happen. And I was only gonna be doing 2 things that day, 1500 and 3K. I really just wanted to only do the 3K, but then coach said, how about you pace the 1500? I was like, okay. So I paced Ali G and Kevin and Aaron to like just run a 420 1500, and it was very chill for me. The goal was whatever I run for the 1500, I just double in the 3K. Okay, that was the goal behind it, and it was nice, honestly. Where I ran with them, Cole helped me pace as he got ready for the 800. I remember we all just ran, and it felt amazing, and I was like, okay, that 420 felt like, I think I ran like 425 actually. I think about it, I was like, felt like nothing. I feel good. And I remember going into the race, I was like, don't worry about your past self. Don't worry about what you failed to do in cross. This is a new season. Just go for it. And I ran. And then pacing felt great. Then 3K comes in. It's totally dark. It's totally raining. But I was just like, all right, Josh, just go out and run this 3K. Keep in mind, I was a 901 guy going in. Then I run. And I remember just running as fast as I could. It was Berto and I neck and neck. We just run and going through the whole thing. And remember, I just ran. I was just thinking my whole time in my head, one lap at a time, go for it. Then we run. And when I finish, I managed to go sub 9. Went from 901 to 854. I was like, oh my gosh, I did. And you can ask Jonathan, anyone I was cooling down with, Derek, Draven, Berto. I was calling Wallow, telling him, I went sub 9, I finally did it. And they're like, Jesus, God was happy. And I was. And mainly what I was happy about was that I finally felt like I was back. The slow training winter arc paid off. I was able to keep up with my teammates. I was able to do something special. And I was like, we're so back. And I remember talking to Ali G on the bus about it. He went, Josh, I was thinking about this. He's like, remember at Calpac, you could barely stand, let alone run. He said, now you just came back and did that. Like, you came back. And I was like, I have, and it feels good. Then the rest of the season was like that. And, like I said, I had the little knee injury, which, who knows? I don't even know anymore if it was a knee injury or mental that was holding me back. Probably it's a combination of both, more mental than injury. Who knows? But, and it's not me. But I remember at Kim Dice, I had my first authentic double where I went for broke in both events. I went 1530 in the 5K, 410 the 1500. Oh, that 410 was rough. It was cold night battling out the winds. I remember he told me that when I took off the final lap, he just said, everyone that you passed up, I just hawked them down right after you. And he actually had his first legit 1500 meter that debut that day. What did he run, like 414, I think? Anyways, but we just ran, and Kim Dice, I will admit, I managed to bomb the 5K both seasons, but that's whatever. Remember that day I did run 1530 actually, which was actually a 5-second PR. I was mad because I felt like I was in shape for more. The 5K and 10K, something I could have done a lot better, guys. Was just been proud of the progress I was making rather than the progress I was not making. I do think that's probably why I did not end up getting the 5K, 10K PR dreams. I was too focused on how little I was progressing rather than the fact that I was progressing. Is what it is, but to anyone watching this, don't err on the side of progress. Don't err on the side of what you're doing. But Kim Dice went 1530, 410. Our next meet was West Coast Series, which I had to sit out because I got sick. And then wouldn't be for a whole month I wouldn't get to compete. Just because here's what happened. We had Kim Dice, then was West Coast, but then was spring break. And then it wouldn't be until we got back from spring break we had our next meet. And then that was Pomona Pitzer. I remember Pomona Pitzer, this is funny. I remember it had been a whole month since I had ran, and I remember I hadn't touched my 405 yet from Hartnell. I was like, you know what? I don't care what it takes. I am running that 1500 hard. I remember I had to get seeded with my 410 in the season in heat 2 or 3, I think. I remember Cole and I were the top dogs in the heat, and I just told myself for 3 days straight, like, I don't care what it takes. I'm taking that lead and I'm going for it. And I ran. I led the whole race up until the last 100 meters. I did die because my butt tightened up, and I took off. I always take off 300 meters to go. I took off 400 meters to go, and the last 100 meters I kind of felt it. I remember I ran through it and I hit 4:03, and I was like, I finally PR on the 50 yard, let's go! And Cole also had a PR that day. He went like 4:06, and that Pomona was a good day. And then I doubled back with 15:37. I just tied that final mile. I was like, ugh. But then that was actually when I got my knee injury. The way it happened, I remembered, was I was just the very next. So we drove all the way back from Pomona to Merced, and at Merced, I just sat the whole day doing homework, and I think I didn't stretch properly because next thing I knew, my butt hurt, then my knee hurt. I was just like, oh man, this isn't good. So I could have always taken better care of myself, guys. To any future runners out there, take care of yourself. Stretch. Do strength. Don't be lazy like I was, okay? I did some things, but I could have done a lot more looking back. It is what it is. That's what I get. And I'll own up to that. But anyways, after Pomona, it was Long Beach, and at Long Beach I did the 10K. First time I'd done it like since NorCal's of 2023. I actually did have a PR despite the bad knee. I went 32:35, which would end up being my PR. And even though like I practically took dead last in that race, I was like, well, alright, it's a PR from 33:03. Busted hip or busted knee, hip, whatever it was. I was like, I'll take it. And 2:16:16 5Ks essentially was what I did back to back. So, or 2:16:17.5, sorry. So I was happy with that. Then after Long Beach, it was Calpac. 2024 Calpac is one of my favorite races ever. Okay, even though I did not get a PR in the 10K or 1500, I went 33:05 and then 4:06. But I remember what makes 2024 Calpac special was we were just saying, let's run as a team. Let's get it, guys. I remember for the first time in my entire career, I managed to get an all-conference and or all-league honor in track and field. I managed to get double all Calpac with second in the 10K and third in the 1500. And 1500, I was totally dead from the 10K. And now, we then run the 5K where I died out so hard. I was just so tired. I went 16:52. I was so dead. Everyone destroyed me. I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember when we were all celebrating the wins, Coach was telling everyone who went to Oxy. And I was like, hey Coach, did I make it to Oxy? And he went, yeah, you did. You're 15:30 in the 5K. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I remember I trained up that final week, and miraculously my knee actually ended up healing up. And then we get to Oxy. Let me tell you something. Oxy, I just said, I don't care what it takes. I haven't had the best 5K break. I'm going to run. And I remember I was in a heat of 40 guys, and I was just like, oh man, I got to really, really play to my strengths here. Don't worry about it. And I just told myself the whole time, first 8 laps are nothing. And I ran. And somehow that day, I managed to run my 15:20 PR. And the last lap, I remember just taking, or last 600 meters to go, I just took off like nothing. And I remember when I crossed the finish line, everyone was like so proud. Even though I didn't get the sub 15 and whatnot, Coach was like, you PR, like this is great. I was like, I felt great, Coach. Like that 5K is honestly one of the best 5Ks I've ever, was the best 5K I ever ran because it was my PR. It was at Oxy where I have a lot of memories. I ran both my best race and my worst race on that track. But I remember that's how I ended my season. So like after 2024 track and field, like even though I had the knee injury, even though I had the sickness, I managed to go from 4:05 to 4:03, 9:01 to 8:54, 15:35 down to 15:20, and then 33:03 down to 32:35. I was like, I managed to come back from that cross season where I couldn't do anything. I was a point contributor to our second consecutive win in the CalPAC conference title. Managed to be double all conference. And I feel like I'm back, and it really set me up for the confidence I needed for cross, which ended up being a good cross-country season. And honestly, 2024 track and field was a lot of fun. It was filled with memories, just traveling with the team, having fun. And it was really special. But mainly for me personally, it kind of gave me back my confidence to just go out and go for broke. And it ended up setting me up for a great cross-country season, which ended up happening even if I didn't get it all. And then, set me up for another track and field season, which, while I didn't get the 5K and 10K goals, I do end up hitting a lot of great goals. So let's now hop into 2025 track and field.